JT Smith for the TFON podcast here for season 3, episode 18. It's been a little layoff, but if everybody's been listening to the Bearcat Tip Off Talk podcast, me, my man Alex Meacham, and Neil Meyer been holding it down, breaking down basketball every game and previewing basketball every game, man. But we're going to talk a little basketball and football on this one. As we know, Saturday, Bearcats are having a free spring football game at Nipper Stadium. I think it's at noon. I want to say it's noon. Don't beat me up on that. I don't got it in front of me right now. But, with Scott Satterfield's first round, first game to see him live, you know, the fans will be able to see, what the Bearcats need and what they have. I feel like the defense is going to be very strong. Offense will have strong pieces, but then they have, there's some pieces they will probably need. I wouldn't be shocked if, I say like maybe some more depth at tight end and some more depth at wide receiver would be something that they're looking at in the portal sooner than later, especially heading into the Big 12. I think the defense is pretty solid overall. I mean, there's some super studs out there. I don't know if they have to do anything in particular. But the Bearcats also have two signees to the 2024 class, which they got a local guy in the offensive lineman, and Jake Wheelock. He is I think in the outskirts of Dayton, goes to Stebbins High School. I think he's the top 30 guy in Ohio. And then they went down to Georgia and got, is it Damian James? He just committed cornerback. I think he's one that's been picking up steam as of the last couple of weeks, where I think he might be one of those hidden gem type kids. So, the Bearcats are working. They've been having kids in all the time, all spring ball, all spring on a consistent basis. So we'll see what happens. I like what they're doing so far. Every hit isn't going to be a home run, but I feel like, they're getting kids that they need and still getting people to commit, man. That's a good thing, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see the spring game, see what happens, and then see what else, what other players they get to commit, man, because it seems like the chemistry is rolling. It seems like they're getting it together. So, shoot, man, I don't want to rush the fall here because I want to experience summer. But besides that, man, I'm excited to see these guys playing the Big 12 and to see what happens, when the portal reopens and see who goes in, who comes out. That's going to be very key for the Bearcats, especially on the football side, just to see if they take a bigger step than people expect. Because you get the right couple people here and there, who knows, man, they might can come in and shock the Big 12. I feel like the defense is going to be very, very solid. And with how aggressive Brian Brown is, I think Big 12 teams are going to feel the Bearcats on defense. That's for sure. It's just going to be, can the Bearcats get in a shootout? And, everybody can score pretty dang good in the Big 12. And can the Bearcats shoot it out if need be? But if it's going to be a grinder, I feel like I have a lot of confidence in that team. But it's just hard to grind if you can't score. So we'll see what happens. It's early, still April, in July and August, that'll be the true test to see what these guys look like. But right now, I'm going to say the defense is definitely ahead. So just because of who they have returning, barring anything crazy, they have a plethora of guys that have experience and are going to be on that defense side of the ball. So I'm going to shift gears, man, and just talk about basketball. It's been very, very busy since the end of the season. We know Landers Nolley is now returning. And I was trying to tell people that, not like Landers told me or anything like that. I'm not claiming that at all. But I was trying to tell people during the season, just because of the way he's been getting scouted, his age, and his skill set, that I highly doubted that he would come back. And I knew scouts were coming to the game. They were scouting other people as well. But people were taking notes of what Landers Nolley was doing. I mean, he came here, he was the number one option, helped his team get over 20 wins. and it just made sense, man. And I was trying to tell people that like it's the old era is over where people are just like staying because of college. I mean, it's a different animal, man. You could transfer a lot easier. He was an older young man. Like if he was 21, then I probably would say like it was a chance. But when you're older, you kind of like you as a child, even though he's getting money, NIL, I'm pretty positive. I don't know. I'm not counting young man's pockets by any means, but after a while, man, you're just like, hey, I'm just gonna go professional. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if he can go G League, that's solid, super solid money, especially if he can get a two-way deal, and then see what happens. Because I mean, if he goes overseas, if he can get the G League, I think it bumps up his money overseas. Um, and I think he does have a chance to make the NBA because he can shoot. You need shooters. He can handle the ball, defend, rebound pretty well for the 6'7" guy. So I think he's a plus rebounder. He showed that. He showed he can carry a team. So and play against top tier comp. So it just made sense, man. So I was trying to tell people that without like acting like I was a know-it-all or anything like that, but just common sense kind of kicked in for me on that one, and I just knew that was going to happen. But with that, man, it left another spot that people kind of weren't expecting to be open, and then the big shoe that dropped was Jeremiah Davenport. He's going to have his COVID year, but it's going to be with another program. He actually is in the transfer portal, and he's no longer going to be a UC Bearcat. So that was probably something that people weren't expecting to see. And it was something that probably was a mutual thing, more so than anything. Might have been like, hey, you know, I'll never bash a young man on a team, no matter what. He did score 1,000 points. Is a Cincinnati native. It's just that, going to the Big 12, it might have been interesting because I mean he went from being a starter for over 50 games to coming off the bench being a six man. I would think that his role may shrink up a little bit more, especially in the Big 12, and you get the right people here. It could have happened. So I can see why he's probably was like, hey, I'm gonna take my chances at another program for last year, and I'm gonna bet on myself for sure. But with that, now the Bearcats have space to add somebody. That they don't have David DeJulius anymore, who is, was the rock on the team. Um, Almost averaged 6 assists, I think about 15 points. You had Nolly that's no longer going to be on the team, averaged, 16 and 5 or 6 or something like that. So you got a lot of like quality players or two quality players that will not be here. They do have some very, very good freshmen coming in with Rayvon Griffith and Jizzle James, as well as Day Thomas, who's one of the top JUCO guards in the nation. But they'll have to replace the scoring. So I hope that Jizzle and Rayvon are able to just like kind of hit the ground running. But it's going to be a transition period. So that's why I'm trying to mentally prepare people for. And if they do come in and they don't have any hiccups, that's even better. But if they do have the hiccups, if they don't have hiccups, my bad. If they don't have hiccups, that's even better. But if they do have hiccups, that's where you'll need like those veteran guys. So hopefully that like John Newman gets the waiver. You get you just got Jamel Reynolds that transferred over from Temple. I think that was a huge get. 6'10" guy, 285, big body. Seen him live, knows he can score very well, rebounds pretty well for his size as well. But I'm more impressed with his scoring ability. I just felt like he had very good moves in the post, physical, and was smooth. Like for his size, you wouldn't have thought that. And just to look at the caliber of teams the Bearcats beat out, just lets you know that Wes and his crew, they're not playing around. They beat Kansas, bro. Kansas was in his top 5, and they were able to get him not to go see Kansas. Just think about that. The Bearcats were able to keep a kid from going to see Kansas in the portal. Just think about that. Just take a pause. Think about that. That's serious stuff. Let you know West and them ain't playing, and that's a huge get, man. Because right now, you have him, Odie, Vic, Sage. You got those guys really like this, the power forward centers, right? Then you kind of have Reed, where he can be, another year in the program, he can kind of be that small ball four, possibly 3-4 dude, but if he takes the real big jump, he can definitely, hopefully, be that small ball four. Especially the way he can shoot, I think he's going to get better, more confident, just being in the system. So that's big for the Bearcats. Now, question is, they only have one open slot right now, and I think it was Aaron Estrada from Hofstra just released his top four. The Bearcats are in it. The 6'4" guard, I think he was a CAA Player of the Year. Averaged like 20 points, 5 boards, and 4 assists. Dude got buckets, and ironically, they played the Bearcats in the NIT. So I think he had like 18 and 8 and 6 or something like that. Like he was balling. So I hope the Bearcats get him. I know other teams are pulling at him. I think Florida State, Kansas State, and I can't remember the other team off the top of my head, but I hope the Bearcats can land him. Then that'll give a big buffer for the Bearcats, because losing with all that primary scoring. All right, I'm saying, all right, if Estrada averaged 20 points, go to the Big 12, I'm thinking he's going to be between 13 and 15. But I think the improvement of like people like Dan Skillings and Josh Reed will help as well. So we'll see what happens, man. I hope they can land him. That'll be huge. The portal isn't done. I think, like, who knows if somebody else will slide in there or not. But if they do, where do the Bearcats go? They try to get them another like wing player, I would guess. If somebody else opens up, like kind of a 3-4 guy. But it just depends on what they do, man. So it just right now, I think the top priority is Aaron Estrada. If he doesn't, it's a couple people I know they've been clocking that if he doesn't come, they'll probably put their eggs in that person's basket or those people's baskets, and they'll go from there. But I wouldn't mind them having Reynolds and Estrada. That's a nice, good pickup for them going into the Big 12 in the portal, especially with the people they've lost. So I'm excited about that, especially if they get Estrada. But I was huge on Reynolds when I saw him play live. I was like, dude can ball. I didn't think he would be in the portal. But now that he is and he's now a Bearcat, I really like that move a lot. So that's all I got right there, man. I'll keep we'll keep people in the loop on what happens, and just make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube page. Also follow the Front Office News on Instagram and Twitter, and feel free to follow me _JT_Smith, and hit up 513 shirts and get some TFON gear, please, and thanks. And hit the site up, man. Drop a comment. We're really trying to get our YouTube subscriptions up, man. So if you know a person that is a Bearcat fan, doesn't cost them anything, just tell them to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 slowly but surely. We in the 3s right now. I guess the next goal, technical, feasible goal, to get to 400, but we really want to get to 1K all day. So, but I'm gonna start, since basketball season is technically over, I'm gonna start trying to do at least a weekly or at least a bi-weekly podcast to talk about the portal, football team, its current state of the basketball team, and whatnot. So just that's how we're gonna end it, man. I'm not gonna talk you guys head off too much because I'm solo, but we'll get some more guests on here too as well. But we just started it back up. It's the first time. Wanted to stay in the flow, and then hit the site, man, because we've been keeping up with a lot of the new stuff. Oh yeah, before I get off here, how do you guys like the new floor so far? Everybody was complaining when they had to get done, but now they got the Big 12 logo on there. How y'all feeling about that? I think it's solid. It can be something else added to it. It possibly could be something else added to it. Who knows? I don't think it's fully done. It's not, so I like it though. I like it. especially with anything with the Big 12 logo on right now is getting a thumbs up from me at the end of the day. Because um, if y'all follow me, I had posted a picture like the last AAC game or the last game that had the AAC logo. And I just had prayer. I was praying. Like I was just super happy and ecstatic just because I knew wouldn't have to see that logo anymore, especially on the basketball side. And then football is the first one that gets to see it, first. But still, man, all those years where you were like, we got to play this team again. ECU's coming here, it is what it is, man. And then they go on the road. They got to go play a team that isn't that good, and it's 10 people in the stands, and they wonder why they don't got the juice. Now they're gonna be everywhere they go. The stands are gonna be packed, so it's gonna be pretty dope that's gonna happen. But I'm done with my ramble. Just make sure, like I said, subscribe to the YouTube page, man. To your kids, grandma, cousin, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, subscribe to the YouTube page. But I'm JT Smith. I'm signing out.